going down, everybody? It's your boy, that guy, Mile High, tuning back in for another reaction. And I already know why you're here. We ain't gonna waste no time. Y'all want to see what the 10 crazy predictions that may go down now that we are in a state of war, you know? Crazy to say that, but yeah. So let's go ahead and just jump in this, man. This video is gonna be like 35, 40 minutes long, so go ahead and get you something to drink, get you a nice little bleeze, do what you gotta do so that we can just go ahead and then get into this. So yeah, record the screen. Hit that full screen and let's do this, man. Top 10 unbelievable predictions that might be coming true this year. You dig what I'm saying? Let go.
Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have war. Starting off in this list today, we have one Nostradamus prediction that is honestly half right at this point. In his book of quatrain poems, he wrote, quote,
whoa, they taking it all the way back to like, I don't even, like, she said Nostradamus or whatever. Like, we don't even use those types of names no more, bro. That's like some medieval shit right there. God damn.
Opposite Babylonian climate, great
Babylonian
without
times.
the outpouring. I am certainly no prophet, so I had to turn to the internet for some help on what exactly this meant.
Right.
And apparently this is the prediction that 2022 will be the year we see the first climate war. People have said that this prediction is likely to be between neighboring countries who will be fighting over dwindling resources. We are currently
Russia and
experiencing
America.
a war right now with the invasion of Ukraine
Or
by
Ukraine
its
and
neighbor
Russia.
But of course that is not over climate change or
Right.
any kind of resources,
No,
which is why
I think that's why I said it could be a half true, but the reality is we haven't seen everything, or you know what I'm saying? We just in the beginning of this. So where this is gonna go and how it's gonna transpire, because Putin's already said, hey, bruh, y'all put y'all nose in this motherfucking butt crack that you don't need to be sniffing. We're gonna give you some problems, bro. You know what I'm saying? They was like, keep your nose out of everybody else's shit. Okay? That's all they asked. And then now we're here where we are now. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of things that are going on between Russia and Ukraine. I definitely don't agree with what Russia's doing, but when going back and looking and watching some of the previous reaction videos we've done about the whole Russia-Ukraine situation, there's definitely, you know, you could be like, bro, like, why did you do that on the Russia side? And you could be like, bro, why'd you do that on the Ukraine side too? So, you know, there's a lot of shit that's going down on both sides that's going to cause a lot of, you know, unnecessary casualties.
This prediction is half right. It's a terrifying prediction considering how we are barely through the first 2 months of the year and we are already seeing this kind of conflict. We can just hope this isn't setting the stage for what's to come for the rest of the year. In our number 9 spot today, we have hunger. Already. This Nostradamus prediction has to do with this little riddle. He wrote, quote, of blood and hunger, greater calamity, 7 times oppressed to the marine beach. Monarch of hunger, place taken, captivity. This one is said to mean that he is predicting that this year we will see an increase in world hunger as a result of the rise in armed conflicts. Okay, yeah. This list is not the one any of us want to hear. It starts off bad and it just gets worse. We're only on number 9.
Right.
This is the roar in 20.
That is so crazy. Bro, we've already, prediction number 10, war. Damn, we can check that one off. You know what I'm saying? Fucking prediction number 9, hunger. Shit, I feel like we've been dealing with hunger issues on this planet for a long time, so I don't feel like that one was ever not gonna be checked. So check. All right, well, let's continue.
This one's a little nerve-wracking, especially considering the world news right now. Firstly, that's a prediction that there's just going to be more bad, more war, more weapons. That's certainly never great on its own, but this coupled with an increase in a problem we already see a lot of, definitely makes sense that these two things would be coupled together, but it's just a grim prediction for the future. Right. In our number 8 spot today, we have Paris. Okay, I'm starting to see a theme with these predictions, and I'm going to be honest, I don't like it. I'm glad that Nostradamus doesn't have a 100% batting rate, or else this year would be shaping up.
Could you imagine, like, what if he did have a 100% batting rate? Like, we would just, that's Bible. That motherfucker was God if that was the case. You know what I'm saying? He knew it all. He was talking to motherfucking higher powers and shit. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you could even argue that he might have been. The fact that you are like damn near to the year, like, yo, yeah, 2022, yeah, there's gonna be some conflict starting, another war. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be over like climate shit and dwindling resources and shit, which, you know, the reality is climate change is real. And we definitely do have a lot of, you know, resource issues. And there's a lot of advanced technologies that are being worked on and developed and everything else because of these dwindling resources. So, yeah.
Terrible. In his book of quatrains, he wrote, quote, all around the the great city will be soldiers lodged by fields and cities. People who are much smarter than me have said that this means that he is predicting that this year, Paris will be under siege. That would be terrible and completely unexpected. Maybe people are misinterpreting it.
Bro, I ain't even got to see the Eiffel Tower in real life. Only seen the little small bullshit one ass in Las Vegas and shit at the Paris Hotel. You know, I stayed at that hotel. It's a very nice hotel. But damn, I ain't even got to go to Paris yet. I ain't even been over there. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't even get to go enjoy Europe yet. I ain't even got to come do nothing out there in Europe, bruh. And y'all trying to blow it up and shit and fucking seize it and... Bruh, I want to go be a tourist in Europe. Chill out.
Maybe some sort of closures or something like that within the city. I don't know. I'm just trying to be glass half full, but it's hard. Again, this guy's been wrong plenty of times before, so let's just hope this is all a case of that.
Facts.
In our number 7 spot today, we have Battle. Okay, this is a Nostradamus prediction that eerily has almost come true at this point. He wrote, "Bluehead shall whiteheads harm
I feel like that's
in
part of
such
10.
degree as France's good to both shall e'er amount." The first time I read that out loud, I thought to myself, what in the world does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Seriously. These predictions couldn't be any less clear, but thank goodness for the internet people who deciphered it for me. People believe that this prediction is meant to mean that war will be reaching Europe in the spring of this year. This is certainly a terrifying prediction based on what is currently going on in the world, and with all of the uncertainty that lies around it, it definitely is a dark...
Who the hell has time to be out here deciphering goddamn poems and shit from like the 1600s and shit? Like, what the hell are y'all doing with your time?
Maybe it's all just a coincidence, but there are people out there who really believe in Nostradamus's prophetic powers, so maybe it's not. I mean, this is a prediction that I actually already talked about in another list, but with everything that's happened in the last few months,
that's so crazy,
it seems
bro.
as though now it has a completely different meaning and likelihood.
Facts.
In our number 6 spot today, we have inflation. This
Which we already know. That's definitely happening right now.
Quote,
We've been dealing with inflation for a while.
To learn,
but it's gotten worse this last
more than
2
candle
years.
wax, so high the price of wheat that man is stirred, his fellow man to eat in his despair. Well, that doesn't sound good. We can all take our pick of reasons as to why this prediction is potentially likely to come true.
What do you mean,
really
likely?
that has me...
Let's just go ahead and we all see and feel the inflation. Well, again, we making life decisions out the goddamn pumping shit. That's not okay. You know what I'm saying? When you choosing whether you're going to put gas in your car to make it to work or you're going to get groceries that week, that, you know, shit's a little too expensive, man. You know what I'm saying? Milk is $3-4 a gallon and shit. I remember when that motherfucker, that was like $1. You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
A little nervous, though. Is Nostradamus telling us to eat the rich, or is he just telling us how bad things might become?
That's probably
Many
like
believe
Cali
that this
or New York or
prediction is his
something.
way of explaining that inflation and increase in starvation may just lead to some sort of a rebellion. I mean, that isn't the most far-off prediction
we've heard
I've
that
ever
shit
heard of,
before.
and if things unfortunately do go that way, I could see something similar coming true, but maybe I'm just easily persuaded. In our number 5 spot today, we have
that's something to think about.
This is a prediction that
I like that movie, but that shit's real. I've always said that.
Technological world.
Facts.
Technology in our world evolves very rapidly, and it's tough to make predictions about what this year holds. But this prediction for Nostradamus reads, quote, "The moon in the full of night over the high mountain."
This is like the metaverse and the NFTs and shit.
Sees it. By his disciples invited to be
that whole
immortal,
NFT world
eyes to
and
the south,
the
hands in
metaverse
bosoms,
and shit.
bodies in the fire.
We seeing it right now.
That this prediction made by Nostradamus is said to be about, quote, immortal disciples and the potentially negative consequences which people are taking to mean artificial intelligence. AI is everywhere now, from smart speakers, text prediction, facial recognition, self-driving cars. It's not just that like weirdly, insanely human-looking robot with realistic facial expressions, although that also does exist. People for years have been predicting something negative coming in terms of all of this new AI technology, but perhaps the first to do it was Nostradamus himself, the dictator. This Nostradamus prediction is an interesting one for sure. According to those who interpret his prophecies, he is said to have predicted that in 2022, we will see the death of a dictator. Of course, he didn't predict exactly who this would be. If he did, that would be pretty insane. If he was even able to predict who would be a dictator in 2022, I would be thoroughly impressed.
Who y'all think he's talking about? I mean, the only one that I could tell, like, I mean, is he talking about Putin? Like, I'm gonna just say it. Is that who he's talking about?
Since he didn't, of course people want to speculate about who this could be. I always find it so interesting to hear these kinds of predictions because I always wish I could know what exactly led them to think that this might come true. It's not really like an outlandish prediction if it were to come true, but it would be very strange how it could have been accurately predicted so long ago. Maybe it won't be a dictator in the end though. Maybe it's just some sort of powerful leader or a leader of a large company perhaps. It's tough to say for sure, but I feel like if this one ends up coming true, we'll definitely know about it. In our number 3 spot today, we have The End. This one comes from the list of Nostradamus predictions that he had, and it predicts a pretty grim situation. Apparently, he wrote, quote, "Few young people half dead to give start." While a vivid imagination might be able to come up with a few ideas of what this might be predicting, apparently people have said that this prediction is intended to be about the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. It's both good and terrifying to know that people have been thinking.
Bruh! No way! Are you... Come on now. I mean, no, come on. We have a lot of zombie movies and shit, but come on, man. I ain't trying to... You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to worry about... Come on, bruh. Come on, bruh.
The zombie apocalypse for centuries, it's not just part of our modern world. Apparently, Nostradamus wrote that the apocalypse would start off with a Russian scientist and lead to total extinction. Okay, well, that's something nice to look forward to. I started off glass half full and I'm trying to keep it that way, but at this point, it's getting hard. Maybe all the doomsday preppers are right.
Oh my gosh, bro.
In our number 2 spot today, we have Asteroids. This is one of those predictions that seemingly pops up every year and doesn't just come from long ago. It's basically the idea that an asteroid is going to impact Earth. It's a prediction that no one wants to come true.
It just gets worse.
Guess that it might. It's really weird. Humans are strange. Nostradamus's words were, quote, "Fire do I see that from the sky shall fall." I'm not exactly sure if he means like a small meteor shower kind of thing, or if he's talking
or like a big old missile or some shit. What is real?
Sort of a
oh
thing.
my god,
but either
bro.
way, it's a little unnerving. Last year in 2021, we had a, quote, "near miss" with asteroid 2021 GW4, but it wasn't thought to be a huge deal either way because it is likely that it would have broken up in our atmosphere. Right now, it is said that the next near-miss prediction is for around 2029, and that's from scientists. So at this point, I feel like we're probably safe, but who's to say for sure? People have also suggested that perhaps instead of asteroids, that this prediction might be about missiles falling from the sky,
that's
which
what
is
I was
honestly
thinking.
just as terrifying as the asteroid. So at this point, this prediction is looking all bad. In our number 1 spot today, we have Gone Nuclear.
Bruh. Like, this list is terrible, bro. This list is terrible. I ain't even gonna lie. This is a terrible list.
This Nostradamus prediction is one that could certainly become a reality
none of this
at
shit to
any
happen.
point, which is something that is pretty terrifying. In this day and age, the threat of nuclear attack, while not an imminent threat, is always kind of there,
It's
hanging out
always
in the back
there.
of people's minds.
Facts.
Like, it's not something most people think about every day, but it's just something that we know people possess the technology and the ability to do. You know? And like I've mentioned many, many times today, with the things that are currently going on, it seems as though it's more than just a hanging out at the back of our minds kind of thing. It's a scary reality. That's why this Nostradamus prediction is just a little eerie, as he claims a nuclear will explode in 2022, and if this wasn't bad enough, it has some very harsh implications. He is said to have predicted that this explosion will lead to changes.
I don't even know what to say about this, bro. This is nuts. This list is just terrible. It's just
I'm not exactly
it's a
certain
bad
what he means
list,
by the
bro.
Earth's position, but I do know that that sounds terrible and terrifying.
Facts.
Starting off this list in our number 10 spot, we have climate change.
Oh, so this is a bunch of lists. It's a few different lists. Okay, well, the first 10 predictions sucked.
I know some of you don't want to hear about this one, but it is always on the list of predictions for years to come, and we're just starting off with it and getting it out of the way. The climate is a delicate thing, and our presence here on Earth has a great effect on it. The climate can make our lives significantly easier, or it can make our lives significantly harder.
Facts.
So it really is something that is important.
Climate
to
change
note.
is definitely real.
2021 saw both heat and cold records broken, and it saw its fair share of natural disasters, floods, and fires. It is predicted that 2022, unfortunately, won't be much different, sadly, which is not what we had hoped for.
That's terrible.
There aren't necessarily any exact predictions surrounding the climate. It's just the idea that we will continue to see some of the most extreme weather we have ever seen. In our number 9 spot spot today, we have the climate war. Speaking of the whole climate change thing, this is a prediction for 2022 that comes from Nostradamus. There's
this dude Nostradamus
predictions on this.
Let's just go ahead and throw him away. I don't want to hear no more Nostradamus predictions. This dude is an asshole. He over here predicting the worst, bro. I don't want to know nothing else he fucking predicted. God damn.
Today, so if you don't know, Nostradamus was a man who lived in the 1500s, and he was an astrologer, poet, and what is called a seer, as he published a book of quatrain poems that are said to predict future events, and some of these predictions have actually come true. One of his predictions he has for 2022 is, quote, under the opposite Babylonian climate, great will be without the outpouring. I read that and didn't know what it meant either.
I have no idea what that meant.
Than me have come to the conclusion that this is a prediction about the start of a climate war. It is said that this war is going to be a result of a lack of resources, and whichever country is involved is going to begin attacking the country next to them to try and gather their resources. Who knows if this will come true? I guess that's why it's called a prediction. And if it were to, who knows?
I mean, we are very. I mean, we basically we there.
Have an economic recession. It is
shit. We there. This one, yeah.
Years have had an
stock market is crashing.
I know every country is in a very different phase right now, and a lot of people have different mindsets, but I can say, as a Canadian, every time we start to get somewhere where things are opening back up and they feel like they're on the right track, everything just gets shut right down again, and we're back in March of 2020. The constant opening and closing of businesses is definitely taking its toll on the economy, as well as travel restrictions affecting tourism, general anxiety causing people to not go out and spend their money, all the Amazon packages. The pandemic has flipped our lives completely around, and the economy has taken a big hit because of it. This is exactly why people are predicting that in the new year we will see an economic recession.
Yeah, that sucks. And people have, there's a lot of people who
people all over the world have struggled enough for the last
pulling money out of the stock market, cashing out, doing all sorts of shit that like ultimately like, you know, just makes everything crash and burn, essentially. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is people are about to lose a lot of money if they haven't already started losing a lot of money. Like, you know what I'm saying? With all the cryptocurrency crashing, the stock market in general is just crashing. Like, things is getting really weird in these parts, bruh. Things is getting weird in these parts.
Of the glacier. This is a prediction that comes to us from Baba Vanga, the late Bulgarian mystic and clairvoyant who has made a series of predictions, some of which have eerily come true. One of the predictions of hers for this year is a bit of a strange one, and considering our current global climate, this is one we are all definitely hoping isn't true. She predicted that this year an ancient glacier is going to melt due to global warming, which is probably a decently accurate prediction, but she also said that within this glacier will be a virus, and once the glacier melts, this virus will now be released to the world. The worst part is that this is said to be a virus that humans simply cannot handle. This isn't where her predictions for humanity end, so I'm not exactly sure how she expects us to recover from that, but...
Bruh. that coincides with that like zombie shit. What the hell?
Just gonna wait and see, I guess. In our number 6 spot today, we have a world power. Back with another Baba Vanga prediction. This one is a little murky.
All right, Asteroids and Baba Vanga. Y'all two need to kick rocks.
She said that the year will see 3 giants unite and a strong dragon will seize humanity.
What?
Remember how I said exactly what this means is a little unclear? People have speculated that perhaps the 3 giants could be 3 of the most powerful countries. Maybe the United States, Russia, and China, but seeing all these powerhouse countries unite would be quite a shocking prediction if it were to come true.
Facts.
There are others who think that maybe the strong dragon part is in reference to some country rising into a more powerful position than we've seen before. At this point, who knows exactly what the next year is going to hold, but I think it's pretty safe to say that anything can happen. In our number 5 spot today, we have a conflict. Nostradamus
all these lists suck.
To predicting things for 2022, so here's another one of his best guesses. He wrote, quote, of blood and hunger greater calamity, 7 times oppressed to the marine beach, monarch of hunger, place taken, captivity. Yeah, again, another one I
no
simply
idea what
did
that
not
shit meant.
understand, but it is apparently basically saying that his prediction is that 2022 will see an increase in world hunger due to the increase in armed conflicts. That's like a double whammy of terrible.
I mean, those are like a given though.
Hunger, there will also be more.
When you got, you know, times of war, there's usually, you know, times of famine and all that type of shit, like hunger and just, there's a lot of things that come with just conflict and war times in general. So
in terms of population, I'm talking about more people immigrating to other countries in order to escape these terrible conditions. He doesn't seem to mention anything in the prediction of which countries he thinks will be affected or where those fleeing will make their new home, but that would be pretty freaky if he somehow had the ability to name all of those specifics. For now, we can definitely take this slightly
look, I mean, Ukrainians are fleeing Ukraine right now.
Locusts. This Baba Vanga prediction might actually be pretty accurate because it's something that has been seen in the past and something that has been quite a relevant issue in the last few years, especially in 2020. Baba Vanga has predicted an apocalypse-style scene in India where she believes swarms of locusts will be next year. Like I mentioned before, in 2020, India was dealing with the worst swarms of locusts that were seen in decades, so it's entirely possible that 2022 might be an absolute
and those are destructive. They'll eat
there are
everything.
Plenty of reasons why this poses a major problem.
I wonder if they could
I
wonder if they could eat humans and shit.
Can absolutely devour food, and they reproduce fast. Lots of quick, hungry bugs is a really huge dilemma for farmers everywhere, and a couple of years ago, this issue was really impacting crops. Hopefully next year won't see these same issues
More hunger issues.
Like I've said before, people have dealt with enough in the last few years.
Facts,
in our number 3 spot today, we have catastrophes. This one kind of goes hand in hand with number 10 on this list that we started off with, climate change, but this one is just getting a little more specific and is actually about natural disasters, more specifically earthquakes and tsunamis.
Which we've seen a lot of in the last couple years too.
The 2004 tsunami, so this 2022 prediction is made
at least earthquakes.
More eerie. She claims that in 2022 we will see an increase in multiple different kinds of catastrophes, but especially earthquakes and tsunamis. She then went on to explain more about who she believes will be hit the hardest and which places will be impacted the most.
Look at that wave.
Weather.
That's a real wave. That's
Asian
like,
countries as well as
what would you
Australia
do if you see some shit like that, bro? Like, oh yeah, there ain't even no reason to run. Just kiss your ass goodbye, bro. Like, why you look at the beautiful fucking sights, because that's the last thing you gonna see. You know what I'm saying? You ain't not running that.
Flooding. Nostradamus also had a prediction for 2022 regarding this, except for he predicts that Japan is going to be seeing an earthquake that is going to appear in the middle of the day. Part of this is a good thing because the timing of it will potentially minimize the human loss, but he does make it clear that he believes the material loss will be great. These sorts of things are very scary to think about.
We can't be losing resources and
really
shit.
A way to predict them for certain.
Look at that. Like, what would you do? Like, that would be so scary. Look at this dude ain't even moving. That white dude was just like, oh shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't even like I said, you'd have to just look at it and be like, yeah, I'm not outrunning that. Like, I'm about to get taken off my feet. Let me just wait for it. Boom! There it goes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what would you do?
Of Paris. For one last Nostradamus prediction
more
for
of these
this list
Parises.
today, we have this super worrisome
And Nostradamus, or we say his fucking name.
All around the great city will be soldiers lodged by fields and cities. This is said to mean that for 2022, he is predicting that Paris will be under siege. For what reasons? Well, that remains unclear. There are other ways to interpret this prediction, like perhaps it's more so stating that the city will just be kind of closed off for a while, but truly, who knows? I wish the people who made these predictions were a little more direct with them, but hey, who am I to critique Nostradamus? At the end of the day, the good news is that this is just a prediction, and Nostradamus has been wrong before.
Good, and I hope he continues to be
these
wrong.
Scary thoughts, which totally makes sense. I wonder if Nostradamus predicted that a random Canadian would be here talking about his poems into a camera to upload to the internet for thousands of strangers. In our number 1 spot today, we have a water crisis. Water is obviously something that is necessary
and
to
Cali's
sustain
already
life
having
here
a
on
water
Earth,
crisis.
and
They've
although
been
it
in
may
a
not
water
seem
crisis.
like it, there is a limited
So
amount
there's
of
definitely
it. This prediction has to
hella
do with
places,
water, or more so the
countries
lack
that
of it. It is predicted that in 2022, because of a multitude of reasons that includes increases in population as well as river pollution, that we will soon be seeing a lack of drinking water. It is unclear exactly who they think this will affect the most, but it's a really scary thought regardless. It has long been predicted that we will one day be fighting each other for the little drinkable water we have left, and the closer we get to that being a reality is pretty terrifying.
Yeah, because people are gonna go nuts if they can't have water or like something to drink.
Bad scenario for people to be in, but I also think it's
especially
important
when,
that we acknowledge.
What is it, like 60 or 70% of your body, 75%? I think it's 70% or something like that of your body is like consistent of water. Like, that's a crazy thought to think that like there won't be enough drinking water for everybody. And not saying that everybody cares to have drinking water, but even your juice, bruh, it's got water in it. Your soda, it's got water in it. So you can't sit there and think like, oh, I'll just drink all these other things. You know what I'm saying? Because the reality is water is the baseline for all the drinkables that we drink pretty much. So yeah, that's nuts, bro. Like that's a scary thought for real, because people would lose their minds. Like,
how many people there are who currently don't have any access to clean or running
and how
water.
Crazy it is.
This isn't a new problem, unfortunately, and I really wish we could be predicting the opposite of this one.
Kicking off the list at number 10, self-drive. Okay. I don't care how good technology is, I'm never sleeping at the wheel. That is insane. In 20 years, owning a car without self-driving capabilities will be a lot like owning a horse. Yeah, that's what Elon said back in 2015.
I know, can you imagine, like, one day your car is not even gonna have a steering wheel. You're just gonna have a capsule with wheels on it that you just need to get into. And, hey, it'll probably be Siri or Cortana or one of these goddamn weird-ass things. Hey, Cortana, take me to the movies. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you're gonna go, all right, cool. And it just drives you to the movies and shit. Like, it's gonna be weird. You're not even gonna have a steering wheel, bro. You ain't gonna have control, no capabilities of being able to touch a pedal. There ain't going to be no pedals. There ain't gonna be no shifters. You're just gonna have seats. You're just gonna get in. It's gonna be like a carriage. You just get in that motherfucker and that's it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be nuts. And that's gonna be a weird, crazy time.
Also, I don't have a car, nor do I have a horse, but I'm pretty sure that if I had a horse...
He said I don't have a car or a horse, but you know.
People with horses are cool. I don't know. I play a lot of Assassin's Creed. Maybe it's just me. Musk believes all cars will go fully autonomous, and it will be an odd thing to see somebody manually driving. Yeah, this list is just ways that we're turning into the movie WALL-E. Just spoiler alert. Elon goes in on horse owners again for no reason. Yeah, any cars that are being made that don't have full autonomy will have negative value. It'll be like owning a horse. You will only be owning it for sentimental reasons. He also believes cars just won't have steering wheels in 20 years.
See? What did I just say?
Gear jumps on the road. You're like, what do I do? Number 9, Mars living. Only 140 million miles away, Mars is pretty similar to Earth.
And Elon is trying to do that already. He's trying to set people up on Mars, so another real one.
It's home to not 1, but 2 moons, so all you astrology freaks can have a field day when you get there. Its atmosphere is primarily CO2 with some nitrogen, carbon, phosphorus, and oxygen, all that good stuff. And for some reason, Elon Musk wants to send humans there. Pretty soon as well. Elon wants to start building a permanent settlement on Mars. Also permanent, not just a weekend getaway? Okay, wonder why. But you can't just order a space Uber Tesla, hop in, blast some lo-fi hip-hop, and then boom, you've reached your destination. No, space is tricky. Space travel is all about timing. These missions will happen during launch windows, and Elon said that we may be ready for the next launch window to send humans to Mars. Every 26 months, thanks to planetary alignment, we're given the perfect time to huck some people at it. Yeah, and then Mars swoops in and catches it. It's like, thank you. Thanks for all your space garbage and garbage people. Peace. And of course, if you wanted to visit Big Red...
That's so crazy. Would you live on Mars? If you had the opportunity to go live on Mars, would you go... Excuse me, would you go do it? Like, that's a real thought to think. Like, I mean, you may not necessarily get to see that necessarily in your time, but you could definitely say that it's possible that, like, your kids, you know, my kids, could potentially be living on Mars, you know? Like, that's such a crazy thought, bro. Like, man. Anyway, let's go.
It'll cost SpaceX around $6 billion.
Appreciate everybody who's still sticking around.
In 2025, they would have to wait 2 years for another crew of 4 to arrive. So you'd be a little bored. Although 4 isn't bad. 4 number-wise, that's pretty good. Monopoly on Mars, absolutely. Number 8. We're in the Matrix. Coming back to Earth for this next one, during 2016's Recon conference, Elon answered a fan question on the spot, and a guest asked Elon if he ever thought about life being a simulation. And Elon didn't respond with an answer, but rather a monologue. This dude leaned in. Simulation talk is banned while in the hot tub. That's what Elon said in this interview. That's how often he speaks about it. As soon as he's asked this, he brings up the game Pong, the old game, and how even though it wasn't that long ago, this was considered the future of gaming at one point.
Right.
Cut to today, it's a little different than Pong. It's a little bit better. I just played Super Hot on VR. I felt sick the entire time. VR is getting so good. It's getting immersive. Look at Facebook even. They're now going to the metaverse. What's going on? Are we not seeing the full picture here? Is this
facts? Like, what are you not grasping about this whole concept?
This feels like the Matrix, actually.
Yeah.
Number 7, Starlink. When you wish upon a star, just double check that it's a star, not one of these things. Because the other night, I was hanging out on the balcony, just looking up at the sky, dreaming, and then this row of what I thought was aliens just flew overhead. It was actually Starlink. It was actually this. Also, we used a small clip. That video is like 2 minutes long. These things are so long. This is taking up a lot of the sky. The SpaceX CEO is back to throwing into space yet again. This time, it's not a convertible Tesla Roadster. Where we're going, we don't need roads, but we still need Teslas in space for some reason.
I still never understood why the hell
really
Elon put a Tesla in space. I never understood that. What was the point of it?
And 3 years later, SpaceX successfully launched the first prototype satellites. Now there's thousands up there. Even this month alone, Elon launched 49 more in 1 month. Look up, they're all there. And this is just the beginning. Soon we're not going to be able to see anything up there.
You're going to be able to see no stars. Just looking at satellites.
Slowly and casually just leaving the planet gives you a little anxiety, well, fear no more. Tom Cruise and a film crew, they're also leaving. They're also going to space, so we're good. We'll still have Mission Impossible movies in the future. We're fine, guys. In 2020, Tom Cruise announced a collab with Elon's SpaceX program, as well as NASA, to shoot a feature film in space. Not green screen down here, like they're going on site, on location, in space. What? On location in space.
Why? Like, CGI is perfectly okay, brother.
2024, we're actually going to have...
That's rich people not having anything better to do with themselves.
If we film near a black hole, is that overtime? I have so many questions.
Yeah, like I just...
Either way, I hope this actually happens and isn't delayed any further. Space Entertainment Enterprise. This company is really going for it. Number 5, Hyperloop. We have planes, trains, automobiles, and boats. But what if there was a 5th mode? Back in 2013, when Elon predicted the growing popularity of Hyperloop trains, we all kind of
like being able to get from like United States to China in 2 seconds.
In the blink of an eye sounds terrifying. The concept art alone looks like something from The Mandalorian. Just not a friendly look. A lot of Sith vibes there. Yeah, this thing would take you 700 miles per hour. That's so fast. Servers wouldn't even have time to give you anything. By the time you took an order, they'd be like, oh, you're actually here. Here's your bill. Watch your step. Grab your bag. See ya. That's way too fast. DC to New York in less than 30 minutes? Cool. Get a different job. That's a stressful commute. Why do you need to do that? Work from home. Well, the first U.S. project kicks off this year. Virgin Hyperloop is currently underway in West Virginia. I hope this works. This is a project that I'm all for. Just, don't derail or not work ever once, and we'll be okay.
Right.
That's too fast. You can't, I don't know.
Because going that fast, like, nobody's surviving that, bro. Nobody's surviving that. That's it. You
want to mute Alexa for this next one. She's always listening. You don't want her getting any ideas.
Some old iRobot.
When Musk was at MIT back in 2014, he called AI humanity's biggest threat. He compared it to summoning the demon. Then in 2017, Musk sat down again with Recode's Kara Swisher, adding to his fears that as AI gets probably much smarter than humans, the relative intelligence ratio is probably similar to that between a person and a cat. Maybe bigger. I do think we need to be very careful about the advancement of AI. Okay. Honestly, I agree. These ads are getting very specific when I'm scrolling through stuff. Sophia the robot was actually created back in 2016.
You don't even have to Google nothing no more, like search anything. Your phone is listening to you at this point. Shit, I be feeling like sometimes I don't even gotta say nothing. Like I should be thinking about something and my phone's like, oh, you like that? Oh, you want to look at that? And then all of a sudden I'm just like getting ads or it's popping up on my Facebook or Instagram feeds and shit. Like, kind of weird ass witchery sorcery nonsense is this? You know what I'm saying?
Citizenship. And she went on CNBC saying she wanted to destroy humans. Nice. That's a good bit. We love when robots like to do bits, eh? Keep the jokes coming, robots. We love it. Even on Jimmy Fallon in 2017, Sophia jokingly said after a game of rock, paper, scissors that this is a good start for a plan to dominate the human race. Huh. I love when she says stuff like that. Keep those bits coming.
That is weird, bro.
Can't get enough of those bits. Number 3.
That was so weird.
Of course, I have to talk about cryptocurrency. We haven't stopped talking about this stuff in years.
It's crashing right now, but
Elon believes that cryptocurrencies will become more and more popular, but he also believes that these new currencies, these new crypto ones, will be more reliable than today's already existing currencies. Because new ones will be controlled by a network. This past October, he took to Twitter and replied to a user, which is always fun, saying, "Out of curiosity, I acquired some Bitcoin, some Ethereum, and some Doge. That's it." He also added to not bet the farm on crypto, because true value is building products and providing services to your fellow human beings, not money in any form. Thanks, Elon Musk.
But that's real. Like, I mean, you're going to think we got to go back to like the bartering days if the banking system really ever crashed.
It feels like we're getting there, but then this space happens and you're like, can we
look, imagine if the banking system crashed and then all of a sudden the AI and all the technology decided to start thinking for itself and you know, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like that now there's no physical or no currency except for the physical goods and services that you can provide as a human being to another human being. Like that's the only value that you can, you know, work towards trading something or getting what you need in the long run. So yeah.
Here, people that are here, thanks. So while we're talking about self-driving cars and the fact that we might not even need steering wheels in 20 years, I'm
telling you, we ain't gonna have steering wheels. Have you seen the new Tesla? They've already cut the steering wheel in half. They're like, all right, cool, we're gonna go to like this Formula One style, you know, steering wheel, and you ain't gonna get the upper or the bottom part of the steering wheel. You're just gonna get the sides. And then like, what's next? They're just gonna take that away from you too. They've already taken away half of your steering wheel already. Tesla's already like, we're pushing people towards not having steering wheels. You're not gonna need it, all right? We're just gonna go ahead and make enough cars and provide enough vehicles that everybody's gonna have a Tesla. You know what I'm saying? Like they provided what, 250,000 cars or some crazy shit last year? You know, like that's like all the manufacturers' production in one. Like right there, like Tesla provided the most vehicles, I think, than any other vehicle manufacturer on the planet last year. Like all together, it was just like, yeah, you know, we sell Teslas like they're going out of style, player. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you start seeing some of these Teslas have problems because their production rates are so much more than some of the other ones. A lot of the other brands actually, like 99.9% of all the other brands. Yeah. So yeah, they tend to have a little bit more issues sometimes when you're mass producing on that level. But again, they're predicting that you're not going to need a steering wheel because everybody's going to have a Tesla and you're going to have automatic driving and all those Teslas are going to talk to each other because they already do talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? You can't buy a new Tesla, have a problem with that Tesla, and then Tesla already knew you had a problem before you had a problem. You know what I'm saying? Before you knew you had a problem. Like Tesla's like, they watching, bro. They watching. That's what that whole network of Starlight and all that nonsense is, bro. They watching.
Now you are. While robots taking our jobs is becoming more of a reality, Elon believes this will eventually open the doors for universal basic income. We're at that transition point right now, apparently. At the National Governors Association, he added that I think we'll end up doing universal basic income because I think it's going to be necessary. I.e., robots are going to take our jobs. Good game. And finally, number 1.
What is that? Where like they just provide like a universal income to everybody and that's just like, that it would be like everybody, like that's just what you need to live. Like that's like the bare minimum and everybody just gets the bare minimum. Like what is that? Is that what that means? Like I don't understand what that quite means. Please somebody just explain that down in the comments below.
Yeah, let's just completely talk about them. Robots can do parkour now. We've all seen those videos on YouTube. They can do stunts. It really does feel like the beginning of the end when you see those. I don't know, I grew up watching iRobot and that movie scared the shit out of me. On one side,
I really like iRobot, but
on the other side, we're creating their bodies.
It's very real.
Meanwhile, we're in the middle like, hi, rent's too high. What are you guys doing? Can we stop? Again, in 2017 at the National Governors Association, Elon opened up on his concern on robotic advancements. Yeah, he has that. He has concern over robots. We're doomed. He says there are robots that can learn to walk from nothing within hours. Like way faster than any biological being, end quote. That combined with this advanced AI, I really don't want to see a virus come to life, you know, then like grow a body, like an actual computer virus. Like where is Norton? Can we build him a physical body? Can Norton throw hands? Can he truly protect us?
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Man, that's crazy. I don't got nothing to say. That whole list, all 3 of them top lists or whatever, top 10 lists, because that was like a top 30 right there for show. Yeah, they all sucked. The very last one, the last 10, wasn't super like, you know, outrageously like, oh my God, like, because I think we all kind of have these like, you know, like thoughts in the back of our minds about like robots and all that shit. You know, I think those have always been something that we've all kind of been concerned about. Like, man, what would happen if the robots? I think that's like just as much of a fear as like zombies. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, those first two, especially that first 10 list, that first top 10 list, that shit was terrifying. Yeah. Fuck Nostradamus or whatever his name is and the other baklava dude or whatever, you know, they can both kick rocks with shoes off. You know what I'm saying? I hope they try to pick a boulder and just kick that motherfucker with shoe off because I'm tired of y'all predicting shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear no more predictions from these two. Other than that, man, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Appreciate y'all hanging out so long. Peace.